you, Madam Chair. We are live.
Thank you, Julian. I will call this meeting of the Public Safety Committee of the City Council to order. Councillor Bassan is excused from today's meeting. Councillor Benton will be joining us shortly. Otherwise, all other councillors are present via Zoom. This is a remote or online meeting where all participants will be on a video or audio conference. We are holding this meeting remotely to allow everyone to participate safely while we're conducting business under a public health emergency. We appreciate your patience as meetings are being conducted this way. I see that Councillor Benton has just joined us, just for the record. Members of the public, city staff, and the media have the ability to view this meeting live through YouTube and Zoom webinar. The live stream can be accessed from most smartphones, tablets, or computers. And for those watching on the live stream, thank you for joining us. Members of the public were given an opportunity to address the committee with either live or written comments, but I understand there were none submitted for today's meeting. So we're going to move on to our agenda item. First off is agenda item EC311, reporting of the expenditures of the Albuquerque Police Department related to the implementation of the court-approved settlement agreement, or Casa, fourth quarter fiscal year 2019. I move that the receipt be noted. Can I get a second from councillors?
Second. I'll second that.
Thank you, Councillor Jones. And to present on this item is Deputy Chief Garcia and Aubrey Thompson with APD.
Are there any questions?
Can you get a brief synopsis on this, just for the public's understanding of what this agenda item is?
This is the quarterly EC for the fiscal year ending 2019. It deals with all of the Casa expenditures that are broken down within the categories described within the Casa rather than by the city general ledger as we usually see.
Any questions? All right, seeing none, I will move for a vote.
Councillor Benton.
Yes.
Councillor Davis.
Yes.
Councillor Jones.
Yes.
Councillor Sena.
Yes.
That passes unanimously.
We're going to adjust the agenda just a bit, as I know some councillors need to attend another meeting. I know many councillors are always double booked these days. So we're going to move to agenda item C, and then we'll go to agenda item B. Councillor Davis?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for that accommodation. I do really appreciate it. It's my fault. I had the double booking today. Madam Chair, item R142 is a resolution requesting APD or directing APD to adopt a policy that would create a safe harbor for victims of domestic violence to report issues of violence without fear of arrest at the same time for other unrelated matters. Quite frankly, this came out of a very public explanation of a family issue involving an APD officer who was recently questioned at a city council meeting about this. And we learned that APD does not have a policy that would protect victims of domestic violence from arrest for minor misdemeanor warrants, for example, et cetera. And so working with APD, we developed some guidelines for that. And this resolution would direct the police department to create that. And we actually believe that would be one of the first policies in the country that would direct APD to resolve those misdemeanor warrants in cases in a lower level. And so while I pause my dog, I will make a motion to recommend a do pass on R142.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councillor Jones, for that second as well. Any questions or comments? All right, hearing none. Counselor Davis, did you want to close or want to go straight for a vote?
Urge your support, ma'am. We look forward to the conversation at the city council.
Thank you. Ms. Emanuel?
Counselor Benton,
Yes.
Counselor Davis,
Yes.
Counselor Jones,
Yes.
and Counselor Sena.
Yes.
That passes unanimously.
Thank you, counselors. And thank you, Mr. Harness, for your patience as we adjusted our agenda. We're going to move to OC 29, 2020 CPOA Semi-Annual Report. I move a receipt be noted.
Second.
Counselor Davis, second. Counselors, any questions or comments? Mr. Harness, would you like to give a brief synopsis of this report?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll just hit a couple of highlights as I scroll back up. This is for the reporting period from January 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2020. So the first 6 months of 2020. Within that time, we received or recorded 254 complaints, of which 157 of those were assigned a CPC number for which an investigation was commenced. And in the same time frame, we closed 104 complaints that would have been from the previous reporting period. And maybe just a quick point of interest. Let me scroll down to complaints by council district. For District 1, we recorded 6. District 2, we had 31. District 3, we had 0. District 4, we had 8. District 5, we had 3. District 6, we had 22. District 7, we had 14. District 8, we had 4. District 9, we had 9. We had 7 complaints reported from out of the area, and then 53 of those complaints we were unable to identify the location of the complaint to assign it to a district. That's essentially the highlights of the civilian complaints that came in for that period of time. And I will be reporting to you the first quarterly report for 2021 on the 19th of April. So I stand for any other questions.
Counselors, any questions? Mr. Harness, can you expand a little bit on the out of area? Sorry, Counselor Benton, I didn't see your hand raised. Otherwise, I would have gone to you before my question. But Mr. Harness, yeah, can you expand a little on that out of area?
Certainly, Madam Chair. It's simply a complaint that didn't happen within the geographical area of Albuquerque.
And APD still responded to those areas?
Well, within the city of Albuquerque, there are the jurisdictions that overlap with Bernalillo County Sheriff jurisdiction. So within those, and then on occasion, policing activities go beyond the city of Albuquerque, and that can generate a complaint. So a common one is a driving complaint for officers driving from home to work. So Rio Rancho or along the interstate that doesn't necessarily fit within a city council district.
Yeah, thank you for expanding on that. Councilor Benton?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Harness, I think if I heard correctly, there's pretty large disparity between council districts, which is an interesting analysis. I think District 2 walked away with the honors or dishonors, as the case may be, followed by District 6. Was that correct?
Yes, Chair Sena, Councilor Benton, yes. District 2 with 31, and then District 6 with 22, and District 7 with 14.
Okay. Any sense of and then some of the districts had none or a small number. Any sense of why there would be such a geographic kind of disparity in the complaints?
Chair Sena, Councilor Benton, we haven't really done any sort of trend analysis regarding council districts. From my discussions when I go to the academy and I speak with the incoming officers, I always ask the question which district, and it's not by council district, it's by area command, which
Right.
district do they believe generates the most complaints? And it's the Northeast. And my explanation is the heightened, well, that's not a good word for it, the service expectations for the department in certain geographical areas of the city.
Just on the part of the public, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting numbers there. Okay, thank you. That's the only question I had.
Thank you, Councilor Bennett. I think that raises a good issue of to kind of know, I guess, a little bit more of what the complaints are centered around. As you stated, Mr. Harness, that sometimes it could be even just an officer driving home who lives outside and gets a complaint against. Reading through the report, I'm really interested into seeing what the next one would be. As you know, this was kind of through the height of the pandemic as well. If some of these complaints were also through some of the enforcements as we were really pushing for public health emergency orders, and really interested to see kind of as we're adjusting and slowly opening up what the next report will state.
Yes, Chair Sena, I believe we are completely in line with timelines, so we should have that second half of 2020 completed by the end of this month, by the end of April.
Thank you so much, Mr. Harness, for all of your hard work and all of the Cpoa board and the CPCs as well. All of their volunteer time that they're committing to this is very much appreciated.
Thank you.
All right, I believe we have to go for a vote on this as well. So, Ms. Unihos?
Counselor Benton,
Yes.
Counselor Davis,
Yes.
Counselor Jones,
Yes.
Counselor Sena.
Yes.
That passes unanimously.
All right. There being no further business, this Public Safety Committee meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.